Arceus, the father of everything within the Pokémon universe and multiverse, being the reason why everything has happened, being the creator of, the Lake and Creation trios, being a mythical Pokemon, only being seen as a story to most people within the Pokemon universe. But how strong is Arceus? Mind you, I'll be using the anime, manga, and games as a reference to see how strong this mythical Pokemon is. Obviously, as the creator of the Pokemon multiverse, he's obviously at the pinnacle of power and strength as a whole. For reference, Mewtwo was able to create its own realm, which the realm itself you can get to as a multi-solar system level realm, which obviously would scale to Mewtwo's AP. One other Pokemon absorbed all the light out of ultra space, and like a lot of Pokemons have performed crazy feats that Arceus would obviously scale far above. The Creation Trio, for example, is just a part of Arceus, just mere aspects of Arceus in comparison. Like, a mere avatar of Arceus alone would has actually shown in some anime movies and episodes just to body slam them, even though they did try their hardest. Another example of Arceus as an avatar just messing about was a time he legit just distorted space and time by just waking up. And Arceus was said that only he can nullify or seal the power of rings that has supposedly infinite power. Mind you, again, as I said before, the Creation Trio are far inferior to Arceus as a whole. Like either true form Arceus or just the avatars alone, they don't really, stand a chance against Arceus. Members of the Creation Trio can shatter the space-time continuum, with the space-time continuum being a supposedly 4D concept. The Creation Trio is just beyond the concept of space-time as a whole, and these Pokemons have been theorized within the anime to have something to do with the space-time being created. Because of all this, you could argue that the Creation Trio alone is 5-dimensional, but obviously scaled to Arceus. Considering Arceus' position, he is the legendary Pokemon that have gave birth to everything within the Pokemon franchise, being described as the origin as well, and transcending the Pokemon multiverse. Because of this, we need to talk about the Pokemon cosmology. The Pokemon cosmology is actually quite impressive. In the anime, it's stated that any possibility creates a whole ass different parallel universe, following what MWI does. The reflection caves has been said to hold mirrors, with each one holding a different universe. In Aura's, the Delta episode alludes to different universes bringing different possibilities, and characters commenting about the dimensional shifter, and we can see like whole ass universes for each possibility as well. There are also ultra wormholes, which lets someone warp through a wormhole that leads to countless worlds. Worlds in this context means universes. Space, according to the Pokemon games, is also considered to be ever expanding dimensions that infinitely expand. They mean parallel universes due to this. One where a war that happened 3,000 years ago didn't happen, and another where the ultimate weapon was never built. People that were taken from different universes were commenting on the difference between theirs and the one they're from. There is also the existence of alternate dimensions going off of early Pokemon descriptions. Arceus, alongside the Creation Trio, has his own dimension, multiple times larger than the main Pokemon anime universe. According to the card games, it's described the multiverse to have endless time and space, and people who are heavily involved in the Pokemon few games say the same thing. There's also realms within the Pokemon multiverse where time and space doesn't actually flow, with Arceus' realm being beyond time and space. Once again, time and space is a four-dimensional concept. Every different game that's been sold also has its own cosmology, its own multiverse, etc. Due to this is because of game links, which characters within the series and AI overall are aware of game links, meaning that Arceus obviously created an infinite multiverse since he, as in his true form, transcends this infinite multiverse. Now, for this, you just need to know a little bit of about dimensional scaling when it comes to power scaling. Just because a multiverse is an infinite one, it doesn't automatically mean it's infinite 5D or 5D in general. You could say that the the universal plus range to multiversal range is still fourth dimensional, meaning a four infinite 4D cosmology. Unless you're having realms within this cosmology that are beyond 4D as a whole and on a higher dimensional plane. In this case of the Pokemon multiverse, you could argue that realms like Arceus' realms and realms similar are 5D since they're beyond the concept of space and time. And since Arceus is a being that transcends everything within this cosmology, you could potentially say that he is around six dimensional at least. Though you could potentially make an argument saying he's 7D due to the whole game link stuff. Arceus also has these plates. Arceus plates are one of his more well-known aspects and are a major source of his power. They are essentially his life force given form. He usually keeps them absorbed into his body, but he can summon them detached to his body at will. As of the Journey series, Arceus has about 17 plates, and losing one of these plates will wound him and render his life more limited. Combining 5 of these plates would create the Jewel of Life, which allows life to flourish in a dis- just previously fucked up land, basically. It's clear that these plates are as durable as most Pokemon, if not more, since Arceus himself said that it shouldn't be broken as easily, mostly referring to mortals or just normal ass Pokemon. As well as having some impressive scaling, he also has some impressive abilities. Even in his avatar states, he has shown or can be assumed of having things like fate manipulation, force field creation, time manipulation, pocket reality manipulation, reality warping, cosmic awareness, gravity manipulation, and so many other abilities that I can list off. In his true form, he has all of these other abilities that I mentioned in his avatar states, as well as beyond dimensional existence, higher dimensional existence, transduality, abstract existence, soul manipulation, and a lot more abilities. So, at the end of the day, Arceus is a very powerful character, like very, very powerful, being around six dimensional, low complex multiversal to seventh dimensional or complex multiversal at the very least, potentially higher, mainly if there's anything that I'm missing when it comes to cosmology, especially if it gets to cosmology a lot higher than what I initially researched. With all the abilities I mentioned, it makes Arceus even more scary just to fight. Like imagine going against someone who can just think you out of existence. Like normally, like from our point of view as humans, we wouldn't be able to, you know, perceive Arceus like true form Arceus. Like as well as being very powerful, we might as not be able to perceive him. But like you might solo your very favorite character or something. But yeah, at the end of the day, he's very powerful, complex multiversal at the very most, potentially higher, as I said. But yeah, see ya.